Okay, so a quick recap. We are building a dinghy PROA. And so far, we got our hands on some second-hand fiberglass sheets. Then we did some drawing, some cutting. Actually, a lot of cutting. Grinding, sanding, some drilling, stitching, and of course plenty of mixing and gluing. Which brings us to day number 4. Like every other day of the build, we got up, ate breakfast, packed up our dinghy and headed for the marina. With the AMA bulkheads and sides done, the plan was to focus on the vaka. Being the fabulous YouTubers that we are, we didn't film the process of stitching the vaka sides together, but it's pretty straightforward. You drill and then you stitch. Now we needed to put in some bulkheads to make it less flimsy. And that meant, well, some more cutting.
Más o menos. Más o menos. Más o menos.
After cutting and dry fitting the first one, the same was done for the second one. We decided to put only 2 bulkheads in the vaka. Our thinking being that the middle part would get stiffened anyhow by 2 smaller wooden beams that the main beams would be lashed to. You'll see them later, so hopefully it'll make sense then. And there were also the 2 long pieces of wood that we planned to put along the edges. While both of the hulls were taking shape, we got what we chose to believe was approval.
Rika approves.
But I think he smells a nice looking PROA in the future. And some questions.
It don't have a mast like regular mast. The sail is like a triangle, yes. And then when you have a triangle, yes, it's coming to here. And when you want to go, it's coming to another side. So actually this is a front and the back is the front.
So this is going to be the middle crown.
This is the main.
Okay, I'm listening.
And this is on the side.
What Bartek was explaining is the concept of shanting. You see, where regular boats either tack or jibe to change course, a PROA shants. We'll try to show it in more detail one day, but for now, back to the build, and to be more precise, fastening of the wood pieces that will reinforce and stiffen the vaka midsection. Switching between the drill and the Phillips bit might have taken less time if I ever bothered to practice doing it the badass way.
Done, drill sergeant!
But well, I didn't, so you get to watch the whole painfully slow process. And contrary to what you might think, it's not to torture you, but rather to maybe point out that you don't always have to be fast and efficient at doing something to get the job done. And then switching it back again. Okay, enough torture. Let's speed it up a bit. With both of the wood pieces in place, the vaka already became less flimsy. We got another visit from the manager, though it's hard to say whether he loathed or was impressed by our creation. In the meantime, Bartek found his new favorite break spot. After a delicious orange, it was time to glue in the bulkheads. So Bartek grinded the vaka walls and the bulkheads themselves in preparation for the fillets. Now, risking the holy grail of audience retention, I'm gonna assume that if you made it this far, it means that for some inexplicable reason you are committed to watching this video and can survive a bit longer fiberglassing session. I know, it's way more satisfying to see stuff being done in a Rocky style montage, but that's not really how it works in real life. In real life, it takes time and effort.
Zestaw wchodzi całkiem ładnie, nie?
As you observe the oyshes in their natural habitat, you might notice the different tools and techniques of achieving a fillet. While Bartek is presenting more of a tapping approach using a flat wooden stick, I chose the stroke and shimmy approach using a plastic spoon we found laying on the ground on our way to the workshop. Both can yield decent results, it really depends on your preference. On the second bulkhead, we tested out a different batch of polyester, gifted to us by Sheila, as the bottle was more than half used and standing for a while, and would probably soon turn to jelly as well. While waiting to see if the red version will kick in, we went back to the trusted jelly.
Quality.
Which, after adding the catalyst and glass fibers as well as thorough mixing, we used to start gluing in the floor of the vaka. While we were at it, we also started filling some of the holes in the sheets. And then it was time to call it a day. Day 5 turned out to be another somewhat drizzly one. But with the roof over our work, we didn't care that much and started right where we left off the other day, which was continuing to glue in the floor of the vaka. We left small sections unglued where spacers holding the sides in place were, and at the very nose. Did I mention it was a bit rainy? But we decided we're not gonna worry about it. At the end, 95 or 99% humidity doesn't make much difference. So we just covered the freshly laid polyester from raindrops, and while I cut some more fiberglass filler, Bartek prepped support pieces that would give additional stiffness to the deck of the vaka. After which we continued to glue the last piece of floor. While that was curing, we had a banana break and cut some wood pieces for the ama. The ones that the main beams will be lashed to.
jakoś zgrabnie troszkę. Not how to.
This is not a how-to video.
After Bartek covered both the corners and the wooden pillars with a generous amount of thickened polyester, we screwed them in place.
To drewno nie jest na tyle płaskie, żeby wywołać smóż.
A bit of cleanup, and the same was done for the other side.
To tak nie miało być? Wydawało mi się, że tak miało być.
In the meantime, the drizzle intensified a bit, and though it was hard to hear our own thoughts, the metal roof provided protection both for our work and ourselves, so we continued. A couple of final touches and the pillars were ready to leave to cure. Which in these temperatures took about 30 minutes, and we could move on to the ama deck. First, Bartek marked out and cut the notches for the pillars on one side. Then, a quick dry fit. A little adjustment. Yep, looks good. And then the other side.
malować.
Almost perfection. Afterwards, all we needed to do was mark out the shape of the deck. Which, as always, was done with a lot of precision. This was of course followed by some more cutting. Couple of touch-ups on the Yama. And to finish up surface prep, a bit more grinding.
Ta-da!
One last dry fit and it was decided that it's good enough to glue. Oh, and we decided to name it Alpha². Then I got a bit distracted filming the local fauna. And they inspired us to actually call it a day and go have some food. Thanks for watching and see you in the next one.